Hey folks, this is Alex Jean-Baptiste, and thank you for joining this webinar. Today we'll be discussing how to grow your company into a multi-million dollar enterprise. We have a lot to cover, so without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right in. So let me tell you a little bit more about who I am. I have about 20 years of experience doing business with the federal government. So doing everything from proposal writing and managing large proposal development teams, to performing capture management and arranging teaming partnerships. I've grown several businesses into very successful companies. And from time to time, I consult to small businesses and nonprofit organizations on how to do business with the federal government. And I really go out of my way to assist small business owners who are underrepresented in entrepreneurship in general, but government contracting in particular, such as minorities and women. So some of you are probably wondering, why should you go into government contracting? And if you're a small business owner, specifically a minority small business owner, let me point you to a few numbers. The federal government spends $500 billion every year on government contracts. That's $500 billion. And 23% of that number has to go to small businesses like potentially yours. And 5% of the 23% is set aside for awards to what are known as small disadvantaged businesses, and that amounts to $5.75 billion worth of contracts annually. And the following people fall under SDBs. Those are Black Americans, Hispanic Americans, Native Americans, Asian Pacific Americans, and subcontinent Asian Americans. And still another 5% of the 23% is set aside for awards to women-owned small businesses. And not only that, but there are several certifications that you can obtain that will give you a competitive edge in winning some of these lucrative government contracts. There are even contracts that are set aside for companies who have these certifications. And some of these certifications include women-owned certification, 8A certification, service disabled veteran-owned certification, Hubs-owned certification, which I think is the best certification of them all, and the list goes on and on. In fact, there are a couple of certifications that I'm a really big fan of that should help you grow into a multi-million dollar enterprise relatively quickly. I'm not going to go too much into these certifications right now in this webinar, but these certifications help level the playing field for minority business owners. And that's one of the reasons why I have the perspective that doing business with the government is a relatively low risk way to start and grow business. Practically everything is transparent when doing business with the government. The customer is known, the opportunities are known, who the customer selects to do business with is known, and the reasons why. The customer pays its bills on time. It's a consistent and reliable revenue stream, and the customer has deep pockets. In other words, as long as the invoice is legitimate, the customer will pay any invoice amount that it owes you. So all of this combines is a recipe for wealth creation. So this webinar is not about how to start your business. It's actually about how to grow your business into a multi-million dollar enterprise. And there are various stages of growth. The first stage is the infant stage. It's the stage where you're just getting started, you're getting all of your registrations in order, you're going on SAM, you're learning the government jargon, you're asking a lot of questions, and you don't necessarily know what you don't know. And the way you grow out of this stage is by selecting a niche that you are proficient in. Working on certifications that kind of sets you apart from the competition, research customers who purchase your product or service, and pretty much learn as much as you can as quickly as you can. Time is of the essence, and so you don't want to stay at this infant stage for a very long time. You want to progress to the next stage as quickly as possible. So the next stage is the toddler stage, and a lot of federal government contractors are in this stage. In fact, they're trapped in this stage. They're typically a one-man shop. They're an employee of their own company, so they're not necessarily managing anyone. They're going to work probably on the contract itself. They have about 1 or 2 contracts max. They have virtually no past performance, and they're competing for these contracts mostly on price because they have nothing else to offer besides low cost. And the way to get out of this stage is to learn how to read RFPs, learn how to write the proposals, get as many certifications as possible, and team with other companies. And I can tell you a little bit more about this stage a little later. So this next stage is the adolescent stage. And you have to be a little careful in this stage because this is the stage where people start making better than the average income. And they become a little complacent and a little comfortable with their quality of life as a result of this business. But they're still an employee of their own company. They're not managing most of the time. In fact, they're still working the day-to-day operations. They have about a handful of contracts. They are beginning to go after best value contracts as opposed to lowest price, technically acceptable contracts. And they have some past performance. But again, people tend to get trapped in this stage, then further their growth into the more mature stages. And the way you actually grow out of this stage is to begin going after larger contracts and diversifying your customer base. You have to actually create an infrastructure where you're managing most of the time as opposed to actually doing the day-to-day grunt work. So you may want to hire a freelance proposal writer, or you may want to hire some support staff that will help in managing the contracts. It's not necessary to hire full-time staff, and it's not necessary to even have an office space. Everyone could do their work remotely, but it's good to get some support so that it can free up some of your time so that you can do more business development and more managerial responsibilities. So this is the stage that everyone should aspire to get to. It's the adult stage. You're no longer an employee of your own company. So now you're managing employees, and you have quite a few contracts. And in light of that, you have some pretty good past performance. So you don't have to settle for pursuing those LPTA contracts anymore, those lowest price technically acceptable contracts that we talked about in the last stage. So now you can start pursuing contracts that present the best value to the government. And those types of contracts are typically have higher profit margins. And in this stage, you're beginning to establish an infrastructure that has value. And the reason why I emphasize value is because in this particular stage, you're getting office space. And so are you going to lease or buy? You're also hiring permanent staff as opposed to freelancers who are assets for your organization. So you're hiring people who are smarter than you and more experienced than you in their roles. So let me sidetrack for a little bit. The goal for growing your for-profit business to a multi-million-dollar enterprise is that you can sell it, or so that you can use it as a recurring income stream for you indefinitely. It's primarily one of those two reasons. So putting the infrastructure in place will satisfy either of those goals. Because if you're growing your company to ultimately sell it, the acquiring company will not only look at the contracts that you have, but also the infrastructure that comes along with your company. So are they valuing your company based solely on the future value of your contracts? Or are they also considering the office building that you bought, the equipment that you have, the exceptional staff that you assembled, and so on and so forth? So that infrastructure can either increase the value of your company or decrease the value of your company. So you have to be strategic in creating your company's infrastructure. So believe it or not, there is another stage beyond this stage. And that stage requires you to reinvest capital back into your business. So let me sidetrack again. In this stage, it is very difficult for people to resist the temptation of improving their quality of life, all right? In this stage, you're probably generating about $1 to $2 million in income after taxes, all right? After taxes. And I'm not saying that you and your family shouldn't finally move out of that one-bedroom apartment, but I am saying that you shouldn't use this opportunity to floss or to ball out of control or to do, to live life to the extreme. I think you get the point. Speaking from personal experience, the temptation is real, okay? Especially when the money is staring at you in your company's bank account. So instead, use that money to continue to solidify your infrastructure. Only bring on more people if they can either help your company generate revenue or help your company decrease costs by making it more efficient, making your company more efficient. So, and in this stage also, you'd want to start looking at ways in which you can start creating subsidiaries and joint ventures. Be more strategic with the growth and start pursuing commercial opportunities as well. Now, this, my friends, is the stage we've all been waiting for. It's the stage where your company has finally become a multi-million-dollar enterprise. And as the CEO, you are now managing supervisors as opposed to employees, which is a far cry from the adolescent and adult stage. This means that your company is running on autopilot. So basically, you can go away for 6 months on vacation and come back, and your company would still be churning away as if you've never left. So you've given your supervisors KPIs, which are key performance indicators and metrics for them and their employees to achieve. And you are simply monitoring the achievement of those metrics. And those metrics are, of course, aligned with your growth and profit expectations. Your goal at this point is to position your company for maximum value in case of mergers and acquisitions. And we've lightly discussed that in the previous stage. But essentially, whether you are the one being acquired or the one that's acquiring other companies, you want to position yourself at the maximum extent, maximum value possible. And although this is the final stage of growth into a multi-million-dollar enterprise, you're still continuing to focus relentlessly on growing your company in every manner possible. So everyone under you is hopefully smarter than you in their respective roles, and they are helping you to achieve the vision you have for the organization. So when you achieve this level, or when you arrive at this stage, congratulations are definitely in order. So by now you're probably asking yourself, what stage of growth is my company in? And that would require you to be very honest with yourself, right? Are you in the infant stage where you are just starting out and still learning government contracting jargon, and you're still registering your companies on various databases? Or are you in the toddler stage where you are learning the bidding process and learning how to sift through an RFP and learning how to write a proposal? Or are you at the adolescent stage where you have several contracts under your belt, but you're still working as an employee in your own company? Are you an adult in that adult stage where you have even more contracts under your belt and now you're managing other employees, but you're not quite at the multi-million-dollar enterprise stage yet? Or are you in fact a multi-million-dollar enterprise already? It's quite possible that you're a hybrid between two stages, but those are the questions that you have to ask yourself. And hopefully, again, you're honest with where you are. So after you've answered the question about what stage you feel your company's in, that would beg yet another question. How quickly can I grow my company into a multi-million-dollar enterprise if I learn and figure things out on my own? Well, that question is not very simple to answer either. There's a wealth of information online that you can get for free that would explain exactly how to start your own company, but not necessarily how to grow your company into a multi-million-dollar enterprise. There are even counselors available that can help you. For example, SCORE counselors and SBA counselors. They can possibly help you, but that really is only going to take you so far. So the answer to your question would require you to honestly evaluate your own personality, your own aptitude, your own ability to be disciplined, and a lot of other aspects about yourself to really determine if you are able to do this thing alone. Personally, I know that if I have, for example, a personal trainer, I'm more likely to go to the gym than if I don't have a personal trainer. Without a trainer or a gym partner, it's almost impossible to get me to start going to the gym. And maybe it's because I'm being held accountable by somebody else, or I'm constantly being reminded by someone, hey, Alex, I'll be waiting for you tomorrow at the gym at 6 a.m. and I don't want to let them down. Or maybe it's because I'm paying for the trainer and I don't want to waste any money. But I know that about myself, that I need to have a personal trainer. I say all of that to say that just like how I know myself well enough to know that I need a personal trainer to help me get in shape, I know myself well enough to know that I need help in growing my business. And if you don't need help, then more power to you. Maybe you're disciplined and self-motivated enough to achieve goals on your own. If that's you, then you could probably get to the multi-million-dollar enterprise stage in a relatively short period of time. But again, that's not me. Remember, when I started my government contracting business, I was looking for guidance on how I can grow my business quickly. I didn't want to just wing it. I didn't want to learn how to do something in, say, 5 years that someone can teach me how to do in 1 year, right? So that just didn't make any sense to me. And that's why I was looking for someone to sit me down and say, Alex, this is how you identify large contracts that you can actually win despite the fact that you don't have any past performance. Now, if someone taught me that in year one, I would have been a monster. The moral of the story is this. I don't know about y'all, but I don't personally want to be stuck in the toddler or adolescent stage longer than I need to. So getting back to the original question of how long will it take to grow my company to a multi-million-dollar enterprise if I learn on my own? Here's the answer. Assuming you don't have any prior government contracting experience, this is the average amount of time that it would take to go from stage to stage if you are reinvesting your capital. As you can see, if you are currently at the infant stage, then growing your company to the multi-million-dollar enterprise stage takes people on average at least 14 years to do. Again, if they are reinvesting their capital and constantly learning on how to improve their contract win rate. So now you're probably wondering, how quickly can I grow my company into a multi-million-dollar enterprise if I have someone to guide me? And unfortunately, the answer to that question is also subjective. It depends on the person that's being taught and the person that's teaching. But I could still provide you with an average. So if you have someone guiding you on how to grow your company, you can cut the time it would take you to otherwise grow your business without guidance in half. So if you are in the infant stage, instead of taking a minimum of 14 years to get to the multi-million-dollar enterprise stage, you'll get there in only 7 years. Now, there's various ways to get guidance for your business. You can take a course, you can hire a consultant, you can join a community of fellow government contractors, or possibly all three. So fortunately, we've created a course called Business Development for Government Contractors. And in this course, we will teach students how to perform capture management, how to write a proposal, and how to grow your company into a multi-million-dollar enterprise. And within capture management, we'll teach students how to review procurement forecasts, how to review RFPs, how to make a FOIA request, and how to find other companies to potentially team with on a proposal, and obviously on a contract. And then within proposal writing, we'll teach students how to write as many sections as possible within a technical proposal. So whether that's the management plan, the quality control plan, the staffing plan, what have you, will assist students in creating their own proposal database. And then we'll also assist students on how to create a price proposal. And this is very important for students to learn because it enables them to manage risk appropriately, because you don't want to underbid a contract because that would be catastrophic, because it would ultimately leave you unhappy as a business owner because you're not generating as much profit or any profit at all, and it could potentially make the customer unhappy if you decide to pull out of the contract. So we'll assist students with creating a price proposal. And in addition to that, within growth strategy, we'll assist the companies in getting to the multi-million-dollar enterprise stage as quickly as possible. So you want to move from stage to stage as quickly as possible. So we'll guide you on determining what certifications to obtain, what contracting vehicles to leverage, and explicit details on how to grow your business. So in this 12-week course, we're going to go over a lot of material. In week 1, we're going to provide you with an introduction to business development. In week 2, we're going to teach you how to market your company to the government. In week 3, we're going to teach you how to perform capture management, which is very important because capture management enables you to use your time efficiently as you pursue government contracts. In week 4, we'll show you how to review an RFP, because an RFP can be extremely intimidating for a lot of people. Oftentimes, I've seen RFPs as long as several hundred pages. In weeks 5 through 7, we're going to walk you through how to write an entire proposal from start to finish. In fact, you'll have your own proposal template and proposal bank for you to use going forward. In week 8, we'll discuss how to use FOIA to your advantage in pursuing government contracts. In week 9, we'll discuss how to build past performance when you're a new company or if you're trying to provide a new service. Many of these contracts require past performance in similar scope and magnitude. So how do you combat that deficiency when you're interested in bidding on the contract? We'll go through that in detail. And in weeks 10 to 12, we'll talk about strategies, right? So business development strategies, growth strategies, and pitfalls to avoid as you grow your company into a multi-million-dollar enterprise. So whether you're extremely busy or you have a lot of free time on your hands, this course is great for you because it's a self-paced course. You can take the course during your own time and at your own speed. In addition to the course, we're offering consultation, right? So we are going to be giving monthly group sessions with people in the course, so obviously students within the course, monthly group sessions so that the students can engage with each other and the instructor. In addition to that, we will provide 4 hours of personal sessions, either via video conference or telephone, based on the students' choosing, so that they can engage directly with the instructor privately. And lastly, we are creating this Facebook group where government contractors from all over the country can convene and network with each other, develop teaming partnerships with each other, exchange experiences, and get exclusive information about opportunities and so much more. So we've talked about ways to get guidance for your business, right? So again, we've talked about taking a course, hiring a consultant, and joining a community of fellow government contractors. So now comes the discussion about price. So let me pose you this question. How much do you think a 12-week course, a monthly group video conferencing, 4 hours of personal consulting, and lifetime access to private Facebook group would cost? Personally, if I were to see this offer, I'd probably be thinking no less than $8,000. And actually, the price is only $1,500. And that includes everything that we just discussed: 12-week course, monthly group video conferencing, 4 hours of personal consulting, lifetime access to the private Facebook group, and on top of that, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. And obviously, we want to have students enrolled in our class who are extremely enthusiastic about growing their business into a multi-million-dollar business enterprise. And in light of that, we're willing to even give a discounted price to those students. So for the first 10 students, the discounted price would be $1,000. And that includes everything that we've just discussed: the 12-week course, the monthly group video conferencing, the 4 hours of personal consulting, and the lifetime access to the private Facebook group, in addition to the 30-day money-back guarantee. If you are someone who's willing to act immediately, there is a $500 price discount for you. So for those people who are really price sensitive at this particular time, we are also offering an installment plan. So if you can't afford the one-time payment of the $1,000, there is a $400 per month installment plan that you can take advantage of. And if you are taking advantage of the course at the regular price, there is a $575 per month installment plan for 3 months that you can take advantage of. So I'll leave you guys with a quote that I often share with my clients who I consult. And the quote is, if you really want to do something, you will find a way. And if you don't, you'll find an excuse. And that begs the question, since we've been asking questions of ourselves this entire webinar, it's only fitting that we end with one last question that we ask ourselves. And that is, do I really want to grow my company into a multi-million-dollar enterprise? If the answer is yes, then I'll see you in class. And that's it for me, folks. Thank you for joining us on this webinar. I hope you guys are truly excited about growing your business into a multi-million-dollar enterprise. If you have any questions, I can be reached at alexjb@bizdevexperts.com, or you can schedule a phone call with me. I'd love to speak with you. There's a link in my bio to schedule that call. There's also a link in the email that I was sent to you inviting you to this webinar. For those of you who are enrolling in this course, I'll see you soon. And for those of you who aren't enrolling, I wish you nothing but success in government contracting. Remember, reinvest your capital. All right, guys, take care.